Hey everyone, Victoria Wiltshire from Songtradr. Welcome to SyncTalk, where we immerse ourselves in all things sync. When you hear music in ads, movies, TV and multiple other formats, you're hearing the end result of a piece of music which has been licensed for use from the music owner. For instance, it could be an artist, songwriter, composer or even a rock band. Today you'll hear about how the music was created for Tanqueray Gin's latest campaign. Joining me from Big Sync Music in London is music supervisor Lisa James. Lisa's a composer who has studied commercial music composition and technology. Her extensive experience includes working with brands like Dove, Google and Johnnie Walker, and now Tanqueray Gin. Welcome Lisa, and thanks for joining us.
Hi Victoria, thanks for having me.
Lisa, can you share a little bit of backstory with us and take us through your work with this campaign?
Yeah, we were really excited to get this brief from St Luke's, and I was really happy to be working on the soundtrack for it as well. The film is the latest phase of the brand's Unmistakably Tanqueray campaign from the creative agency St Luke's in London. Since 1830 is the name of the year Charles Tanqueray perfected his recipe. The actual film launched on the 6th of November across TV, cinema, online, and that's across Western Europe, Australia, South Africa and Canada. And to be honest, it's been so well received, we're already talking about extensions for this as well. So the film takes place on a journey through time from 1830s to the present day, highlighting that the fact Tanqueray's original recipe and taste has remained unchanged. And it uses this special film technique, which I'm not going to pronounce correctly. I think it's Drosti. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's based on this idea of a world within a world, and was created using like a continuous curving camera, revealing each new scene from inside the previous one.
That sounds wonderful. And for us today, it will be Drosti. Let's talk about the briefing process a little. At what stage did you receive the brief?
I mean, this one was really early. So, sometimes it can vary. We've had jobs that are in last minute and we're used to that. But in my opinion, the earlier the music supervisor gets involved, the better the project, the better the result. We first began chatting to St Luke's back in March this year when the film was originally at a storyboard stage, and we were given a really clear brief really early on. They had real clear vision of how it was going to be stylised, and this was ideal because it just meant that we could really get the best understanding of what was needed. It gave us plenty of time to select the best composers for the job. Our main objective was to do justice to the different time periods that the viewer kind of travels through during the ad. So we needed to highlight this in the music in a subtle but noticeable way.
Let's talk about composers for a bit. What do you typically look for from a composer who's pitching for a job like this? If there is actually a typical scenario, that is.
Yeah, it all depends on the creative and what skills are required. The budget plays a part as well. But honestly, no two pitch processes are the same. At the end of the day, it's just kind of down to the job and who's the best person for it. We could be working with a composer we've never worked with before, or it could be a composer we already know and trust. For this particular job, for me, it was essential that the music had this premium feel. So I reached out to composers who I knew had access to session players and studio space, because this would play a key part in that end result. With the Tanqueray since 1830s film, the continuous spiral of events became the basis of our approach to the music. So St Luke's, the agency, requested a loop-in repetitive feel to the music so it would complement the visuals. So we were then tasked with building and developing the music as it progressed through the scenes to reflect the different decades. We ended up working with the immensely talented WMP on this. They are a composition agency up in Leeds in the UK. They're such a great bunch of guys to work with. They're trained classically and in jazz. That's just to name two. So I just knew that they'd be able to add that little extra bit of class that we were looking for this.
How about the creative process itself? Can you talk a little bit about concept to completion and what goes on behind the scenes on a job like this?
Yeah, a lot goes on behind the scenes actually, and it's not always that glamorous. So this took around about 5 months to complete. We call this process the demo development. So this is where we like to explore a few different options, ensuring that each composition created matches the unique quality of the visuals. Sometimes we like to throw in a few wildcards in there. We just like to explore different avenues. But with this brief, obviously it had to be so completely original. It wasn't based off of a reference track, but it was something that everyone in the process felt passionate about. So once we were in the right space, we could then finesse the finer details. So this is where we were like subtly highlighting the years from 1830s to the present day, with slight changes to melody, instrumentation, arrangement, just to kind of highlight the eras. For example, we'd use a trumpet melody for the 1920s, a Hammond organ for the scene show in the 1960s, and at the very core of the track you'll hear, we have like a chime of a clock. So this kind of suggests that movement of time. To be honest, it was an absolute dream working with W&P and the creative agency St. Luke's. Everyone just kind of really understood the vision of the project, and it was a lovely project to work on.
And here I was hoping for a little bit of juicy drama.
Never.
Well, Lisa, I want to say congratulations to you. I think Since 1830 is a really beautiful piece. It's come together so incredibly well. Thanks for joining SyncTalk. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck with the campaign and your future projects with Big Sync Music.
Thanks so much for having me.
If you'd like to check out the full version of Tanqueray Gin's Since 1830 campaign, click the link in the description below and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. See you next time.